Here to weigh in is Indiana Senator Jim Banks. Senator, I want to get your top line on the deal, the direction it's going, and certainly the wind behind the president's back going into the G7 discussions in these coming days.
Well, I'm pleased. I'm optimistic. We don't know the full scope of the deal, and we won't until Friday. But the fact of the matter is, Jason, is that Iran is so much weaker today than what they were a year ago. What President Trump and our military have done to decimate Iran's military, weaken their economy. They won't be able to come back from that for a long time. If they keep up their end of the deal, this is a big win, not just for America, but for Europe, for the rest of the world. But on the other hand, if they don't, if they renege on the deal, if they betray this deal, Donald Trump is in the Oval Office for another 2.5 years, and there will be hell to pay for the Iranians if they don't hold up their end of whatever the deal is that's ultimately signed. And I think that's a big piece of all of this that's been missing in the mainstream media today. President Trump will hold them accountable if they don't end up their end of the deal. They know what that looks like. That's a lot different than dealing with Barack Obama or Joe Biden, who they were not afraid of. They know what's on the other end of the stick if they don't end up their end of the deal, and that's why I'm mostly optimistic.
Well, Senator Chuck Schumer seems to think that Trump, he's accomplished absolutely nothing. Have a look at this.
We need to know exactly what this, quote, understanding is. Will service members still remain in harm's way? And we have to ask, what has actually been gained from Trump's war? The regime that's in Iran is more radical and more anti-American than even the previous one. Trump must release these details publicly.
Senator, what's your reaction to that? Because you can say they're more radical, but they don't have the guns, the ship, the Navy, the Air Force that they used to have in order to fire the types of weapons that they want to fire.
That's exactly right. Again, Chuck Schumer doesn't want President Trump to be successful. The Democrats have been trying to tie the president's hands for the last several months with these fake war powers resolutions in the Senate that we voted on almost on a weekly basis to completely weaken the president in these negotiations. So Chuck Schumer wants the president to fail, and he wants America to fail in the process as well with that. But the fact of the matter is we've sunk Iran's Navy. We've shot their fighter planes out of the sky. We've decimated their nuclear program, many of their military sites. The full force of the American military has been on full display here. And Iran knows it. The rest of the world knows it. I mean, President Trump has shown the world what American strength looks like. You don't mess with us. At the end of the day, preventing Iran from having a nuclear weapon is important for Europe, for the Middle East, for our important ally Israel, but it's also most importantly important for America, for our kids and our grandkids, that Iran never achieves that. And that's why President Trump is making history once again with this deal today and what will happen on Friday. It's a historic moment. He, as you pointed out earlier, he's in Switzerland with all of these weak European leaders. Here, once again, America is saving Europe from itself and signing this deal and weakening Iran, preventing them from having a nuclear weapon that they could point at Europe is so good for the rest of the world. They should bring out a giant belated happy birthday cake at the G7 and thank President Trump in front of the whole world media for what he's done to save Europe once again. It's such an important moment in American history.
Senator Banks, thank you. Appreciate your perspective.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.